model. So if we talk about any model, the model goes through a lot of phases, and if we see what are the phases, then these are the phases which we can see here. So it is collecting the data, preparing the data, training the model, evaluating the model, deploying it later on. And collecting the data is basically the same as collecting or having a survey of data, a bunch of data which will be either could be present in the web already, or if it is like a company is getting the data from the customers or something. So that is the part of collecting the data which is very much required to start the whole thing. Preparing the data is about cleaning, going through exploratory data analysis, going through what are in the data, what are the patterns, and understanding the data, and then uh, cleaning the whole thing, and preparing a proper data that can be trained. And then we will be doing the training of the model, which will be based on any algorithm, and then there will be evaluation of the model, which will be basically testing of the model. And that could be through validatory data, or that could be through a test data, which will be different from the training data. And then the data will be deployed. And if there is any problem in the deployment, and if the accuracy is less, then we can just go back and retrain the model, and then continue the process to get another deployment done. So that's pretty much the cycle, the whole phases of the model. And if we start to get to know what exactly we have for the income prediction, so here we can see that the dataset contains about these many inputs and around 15 to 14 parameters. Um, and these are the parameters: age, describing the age of the individual; work class, education, education number; martial, marital status, occupation, relationship, race, sex, capital gain, capital loss, hours per week, native country, and the most important is salary, because we are predicting what will be the income, which is basically the salary attribute. So that is dependent on two columns, which is one is greater than 50 and another is less than 50 thousand, and so this will be our targeted attribute. So these are basically the insights from the, and just to kickstart the whole thing. So now we are having the Jupyter notebook, Jupyter like folders here, and we can just jump into the Jupyter notebook and then understand how we will train the whole model, and then transfer the whole model into a file, and then use that file and other Flask depend like framework and other files just to get the structure done, and then we can just deploy it in Heroku. I have already opened these four tabs, so let's just start it. So we'll quickly just clear the outputs so that we can understand it better. So now the outputs are clear. I will quickly import the libraries. So the libraries are NumPy, Pandas, Matplot library for the exploratory data analysis, Seaborn for the exploratory data analysis, and Plotly is also for the same. So let's just get the data first using, I'm reading the file. So the file is both the trained CSV and the test CSV, which are both two folders, and I can show that data set later on. So basically there is two files, two CSV files for both training and testing, but if there is a catch. If one requires to validate the whole model, then there is a validation data set, and that is the splitted data set from the training one. And test would be a completely different. So a person who wants to check and evaluate the model can do that too. So yeah, so let's just get the head, which is basically the 5, and we can see all those values, and then if we just see what are the unique values, we can see that age has these many of the unique values, education number has these number of unique values, martial status have these number of unique values, and so on for all the attributes. And here we can see that income level, which is the main one, is having a less than 50,000 and a greater than 50,000, which is cool. Because then the whole model prediction will lie and conclude to two different categories, and will be predicted within these two. So let's just see the info, and there is that is the info. Okay, so let's get the null values, and we can see that there are many null values here. And so basically what we can do is we can just remove change the null values to an average one, and then we can see that yes, there is no null value. Later on, we know that this attribute doesn't actually contribute a lot, this one, and it is unclear about its properties, and because it was already in the dataset, we can just remove the whole attribute, and that doesn't affect, and then we can see the head, and it is removed, and it's good to go. Now, if we just describe and then get the plots, and I will quickly run these so that we can just go through all of them a little bit faster. So yeah, here we can see that this is a box plot, and box plot is very necessary when we talk about understanding how the distribution is. So here we can see that the distribution of the median is lying towards the left, and there are some outliers. Same goes to the greater than 50,000, which has around these are the outliers, and the medium lies in the mid of the whole box plot. And then if we just see the description here, these are the statistical values. Same if we see about the education number, here we can see that the value is pretty much scattered because the box plot isn't that bigger. And here we can see the medium lies towards the right side, and there are some outliers towards the left side. Here we can see these are the description values, and if I see, this is a huge deal. Hours per week doesn't have a very good pattern in less than 50,000, and we can see that it's pretty much completely scattered and doesn't provide a normalized value. Whereas there are some normalized value in greater than 50,000, and there are some outliers as well. Okay, so let's just get into the categorical variables and understand the bars. So if we just go through the income level, we can see that the state government and private has a bigger role. Same if we see that similarly, if we see that occupation, then we can see that the occupation about the managerial, and managerial does have a greater influence, and other are these, so which is basically sales, I guess. Yes. Yeah. So these are the major parts, and then again there is married martial status, and moreover the married ones have the dominance. And again, if we see the relationship, it's husband towards it. And then if we see males are pretty much dominant in getting a higher value, and that is pretty understood because right now the scenario doesn't actually provide that flexibility, but soon it will be, I hope so. Again, if we see race, then white had some dominance over black, and other groups had a very less influence. Then again, if we see these are the labels, and we basically need to change these labels, these text values to a numerical value. So here we can see that these are the labels. If we just understand all the stuff, I'm just quickly running over everything. So, okay, so if we now see the head part, we have using these values, uh, these runs, we can see that we have changed the whole thing to a numerical value, which can be done in pretty much many ways, and that can be easily done. So once we have all these numerical values, we can just start the training part. So I'm importing the libraries. I will split the data to X and Y. As you can see, we are using iloc. So we are splitting it, and then again we split the whole thing into 30% to 70%, which is good. And then we can just go and do our decision tree classifier, and here we can see that the accuracy on training set is around 0.98, and the accuracy for the test set is around 0.82, which is good. Then if we just do the prediction and get the confusion matrix, we can see that around positive, like the actual results predicted were 5968, and the actual negatives were 1412, and these were the false positive and false negative. Uh, if we get the report, we can see the precision, recall, and F1 score and other values. And this is the accuracy, which is around 81%. So if we again do the whole after the splitted data, which was the validatory data set, we can use it to the other CSV file we had. So using the test values. So again, if we train, we can get a better understanding of how our model works, because now we don't have a data set that is of same, but rather than a different set of data set, and that can actually put our model to test and provide a better clarity on how our model can give better results. So if I just run all these, after doing all the pre-processing, we have changed the numerical values. I will get the y done, and then yeah, later on you can just add the set, and you can get the results. Converting the whole model into pickle file, and if I go through the folders, we don't have the pickle file right now. The income prediction.pkl, the .pkl file isn't here. So what I will do is that I will run this, and once I run it, we can go back and we can see that we have got the income prediction.pkl file right now. So once we have these files, we can then proceed to the deployment. But before that, I will go through each and every file just to let you know what exactly contains in all of them. So what I will do is, right now, one of them is going through the Jupyter notebook. I will open another Anaconda prompt, and in this prompt, I will go to the folder, and this is my folder. I will copy so that I can just directly go to the place. Again, it's cd, so cd, and yeah, if we see these are the files, I will do spider, so we will open the spider, and that will essentially give us a better platform to view all these files and understand what are the contents in it. And all of them are required just to make sure that the deployment is successful. And once you have got all the files ready and going, then you can just push all these files into the GitHub, and then you can proceed. So right now you can see all these files are present in here, and there are a lot of files, and so if we look at the index.html file, that is basically the HTML file, simple HTML and CSS, and that is the main web page design that we are going through. The prediction text will be the display result. And if I once go through the app PY, we can understand why is it so, because we have loaded the PKL file here, and this is the get method and this is the post method which is required for the deployment, and that is giving the results to index HTML file, which uh, extracts this and display it there. So we can see that it displays two text values here. If I elongate this, two text values here: income is less than or equal to 50,000 and income is greater than 50,000. So yeah, and profile is basically the contents that are in Heroku. So if I just quickly go through Heroku, so here, if I just go through one of them, so suppose this is the one, just for example. So if I go through resources, then you can see that that is the content of the proc file. So that is where the proc file is used, and then there is runtime, which is basically the package Python description and other, and these are the main structure that we have to use, because structure is very important when we are talking about Flask framework. And I can just close this and we can go through the another stuff in this, that is basically the requirements file. So I can just quickly open it and you can see that these are basically the packages and the version. So that is required for Heroku to actually install all these packages like beforehand and then deploy, and that makes it easy to get the dependencies and understand it and just deploy it smoothly. So that's where the requirements. If you need, if there is a need of uh, developing the requirements file, which I have already done, so you can just go and do this command. So it is script freeze forward and then the file name. Suppose it is requirements, and then txt. And this will actually create the whole file without even writing each and everything. So yeah, okay, so now we can just go and push all these files and then we can smoothly deploy it. So let's open git bash here, and I will extend it, and here we can see that we are in the folder. So I will git init and that will initialize, and then we can do git status, and these are the files that we have to push. So we can, so once I just want to see what is the configuration, so for that I'm writing this, and yeah, we have to set the URL. So that is git, remote add origin, and then we will take the link that is presented. So okay, so we haven't, yeah, so first time we have to just create a new repo. I'm really sorry for that. That is income thread, if I name it. So that is income thread, and yeah, I'm creating the repo. So once the repo is created, there will be a link. So HTTP link or SSH, and we need HTTP. So I'll copy this, and that's the thing. I will paste this, and once I paste it, the URL will be changed. I can see in the configuration that we have the URL. So now I can just go and commit it. New files, and sorry, I haven't added, so real quick, and then commit, and we can see in the get status that Yeah, so I just modified to, and I didn't want it to be included, but it is clean. We know that it's pretty clean. So we can just go ahead and push. So because it is master, I will do push set upstream origin master, and that will push all these files that we are seeing here. And once the push is done, yeah, and once the push is done, we can just go ahead and deploy the branch that we have pushed. So Heroku is very easy just to connect the GitHub repo, and then you can just deploy the branch wherever the files are, and that basically gets all these things done. Okay, beforehand that before the whole deployment, I can just show you the local deployment. So here we are in the thing, and I can just copy this, and here we are, yes, and now I will do Python app.py, and that will basically deploy get local deployment, and that localhost deployment, and then you can just get the link there, and if I paste the link, we will get the whole functional web app. So this is the link. I will copy this, and we can go to our tab, and we can just paste it, and here it is. The web app is completely there, and it is fully functional. But to actually deploy it, we will go to Heroku. So now we are in Heroku, and we can just first we have to just create a new app. So I'm creating a new app, and the app name should be unique, because that will be used after the before the domain, and basically sometimes the app names are already used. So if I just write like income, so yeah, it's all should be small letters. So if I write income, it's already taken, like not available. If I write Fred, that is taken too, and if I just write prediction, predict. Okay, predict is also taken, so let it be like Freddy. That will be fine, because it really matters, it should be unique. So once we create the app, we can just connect the GitHub repository. So I will search here the income thread, because that was our repo. I will connect it, and once the connection is done, we have to choose the branch in which the whole thing is. So if I push it, you can see that, that there was the branch, master was the branch. So we will go and deploy the master branch, and that will basically install all the packages that are required to deploy the app, and that facilitates all the files that we had in there, facilitates all these um, installments, and that easily helps in deployment. So it does take a bit time, but yeah, it will be deployed soon. So this was the local deployment. As you can see, that was our local deployment. It will be working absolutely fine. Like right now it is 35. Okay, so if I just write 30, let it be 30. This should be 13, just in case. 200. Suppose this is 2024. For example, 50. Yeah, so 50. Yeah. So basically we just clicked it and got income is less than equal to 50,000. And if we go back, yeah, so here we can see that the app is deployed and this is the link. You can just copy this and do it too, but if we go up, here is also the tab. So if you open the app is deployed and it is absolutely same as the local, and thus we have a simple link to just indicate where the app is, and we can give this link anywhere, and the person can view whole model implemented in a web app. Thank you.